Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be the loudest voice in the room to be the most powerful presence. You don't need flashy clothes, perfect looks, or constant attention to be magnetic. You just need the right habits. Quiet confidence, silent power, because true attraction isn't about shouting your worth. It's about showing it without saying a word. Let me share with you the 11 socially attractive habits that make you silently irresistible. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about how you carry yourself, how you treat others, and how comfortable you are in your own skin, all without saying a word. True confidence is calm, steady, and deeply rooted. It's not a performance. It's a quiet strength that makes people feel secure in your presence. When someone walks into a room with real confidence, you can feel it. They don't need to prove anything. They're not seeking validation. They know who they are, and that self-assurance silently commands attention. You don't have to shout to be noticed. In fact, the most attractive people are often the ones who say the least. They let their energy speak for them. You can tell they trust themselves in how they move, how they sit, how they look at others. This unspoken confidence becomes magnetic because it's authentic. People are drawn to it because it's rare. So many individuals try too hard, they overcompensate, exaggerate, or seek approval in every interaction. But the person who's quietly confident stands out without trying. That's silent power. Confidence also means you're at peace with not being the center of attention. You don't chase approval or applause. You're not desperate to be seen, because you already see yourself clearly. You know your worth, so you don't need others to confirm it. That energy is attractive because it makes others feel safe, respected, and intrigued. They start to wonder what makes you so secure. Why don't you react like everyone else? Why aren't you seeking praise or showing off? That mystery pulls people toward you. The truth is, loudness can often hide insecurity. But quietness, when it's grounded in self-assurance, speaks volumes. It says, I'm here, and I don't need to prove myself. It tells the world that you've done the inner work, that your self-worth isn't built on how others see you, but on how you see yourself. And that's where the real attraction lies. If you want to be silently attractive, focus on developing that inner peace. Work on your mindset. Build your self-respect. Show up for yourself in small ways every day. Over time, you'll stop needing attention, and ironically, that's when you'll start getting it. Because confidence isn't about convincing the world. It's about being so rooted in who you are that the world can't help but notice. Not because you shouted, but because your silence said it all. In a world full of noise, the ability to listen has become a rare and powerful trait. Most people are so focused on what they're going to say next that they completely miss what the other person is actually saying. But when you truly listen, not just with your ears, but with your full presence, something incredible happens. You create connection, you build trust, you make people feel seen, heard, and valued, and that in itself is deeply attractive. When you listen more and talk less, you're not giving up power, you're gaining it. You're showing emotional intelligence and social awareness. You're communicating that you're confident enough in yourself that you don't need to dominate the conversation. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not waiting for your turn to speak. You're fully there, in the moment, taking in someone else's words with genuine curiosity and interest. That energy is magnetic because it's so rare. People are naturally drawn to those who listen with intention. When someone feels heard, they feel important. They feel respected, and they will remember how you made them feel. You don't have to be the smartest, the funniest, or the most outspoken in the room. You just need to be present. Sometimes all it takes is a nod, a pause, a thoughtful follow-up question to let someone know you care. That level of attention stands out. It separates you from the crowd. Listening is also a sign of confidence because it shows you're not threatened by silence. You don't need to fill every gap with words or jokes or stories about yourself. You're comfortable letting others take the spotlight. And the irony is, by doing that, you become the one people want to be around. You give them space to be themselves, and in return, they associate you with calmness, safety, and authenticity. When you listen well, you learn more about people. You pick up on what matters to them. You understand their emotions, their fears, Their motivations, all things that help you connect on a deeper level. And that kind of connection is far more powerful than any rehearsed line or flashy story. You're no longer just another voice in the conversation, you become someone who gets it. So if you want to be silently attractive, master the art of listening. Don't rush to respond. Don't interrupt to prove a point. Just be still, be present, and truly hear what others are saying. Because in a world where everyone is trying to be heard, the one who listens becomes unforgettable, not with loud words or attention seeking behavior, but with the quiet power of presence, patience, and empathy. Body language is a silent conversation that happens before you even open your mouth. It speaks volumes about your confidence, self-respect, and emotional state. People notice how you walk, how you sit, how you carry yourself. And often, they make judgments based on those nonverbal cues long before they hear what you have to say. That's why strong body language is one of the most silently attractive habits a person can develop. When your posture is upright, your shoulders are relaxed, and your movements are calm and intentional, you signal self-assurance. You show the world that you are comfortable in your own skin. There's no need for bravado or over-the-top gestures. The simple act of standing tall, making steady eye contact, and keeping an open stance can completely shift the way others perceive you. It creates an aura of confidence without saying a single word. Closed-off body language, like crossed arms, slouched shoulders, or avoiding eye contact, often sends the message of insecurity or defensiveness, even if that's not how you feel inside. But when you intentionally practice open, calm, and grounded physical presence, you create an environment that feels safe and welcoming. People are naturally drawn to that. They feel at ease around someone whose body language is aligned with calm confidence. Another powerful aspect of body language is stillness. People who are constantly fidgeting, adjusting, or shifting around often come across as nervous or unsure. But when you are still, when your hands are calm, your gaze is steady, and your movements are purposeful, you communicate strength and control. You appear focused and unbothered, like someone who doesn't need external validation to feel secure. Even the way you walk matters. Someone who walks slowly and deliberately, with their head held high and their shoulders relaxed, carries a silent charisma. They're not rushing. They're not trying to prove anything. They move with presence, and that presence turns heads. It's not loud, but it's deeply compelling. Silently attractive people understand that their body language is a mirror of their mindset. They train it, refine it, and stay aware of it. They know that their nonverbal communication can either elevate or diminish the impression they leave. And because they've mastered it, they don't need to rely on flashy words or exaggerated confidence to be noticed. Their presence does the work for them. So if you want to become silently attractive, focus on your physical presence. Practice standing and sitting with intention. Make eye contact that is warm, not aggressive. Use your body to express openness, calm, and respect. When your body language radiates quiet confidence, people won't just hear you, they'll feel you, and that kind of energy doesn't just enter a room. It transforms it. Setting boundaries and respecting yourself are two of the most silently powerful things you can do. When you know your worth, you stop seeking constant approval. You no longer allow people to treat you in ways that don't align with your values. You stop explaining yourself to those who aren't listening, and you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. That kind of quiet strength is rare and incredibly attractive. People often confuse silence with weakness. But in reality, silence can come from deep self-respect. When you say no without guilt, walk away from disrespect without drama, and choose peace over proving a point, you show a different kind of power. It's the power of someone who doesn't beg for love, attention, or acceptance, because they already give those things to themselves. That self-sufficiency is magnetic. When you have strong boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You no longer accept breadcrumbs. You no longer tolerate energy that drains or disrespects you, and you do all of this without yelling, without arguing, without demanding. You simply choose differently. You step back, you distance yourself, you protect your peace, and in doing so, you command respect without even asking for it. People watch how you treat yourself. If you constantly sacrifice your time, ignore your needs, or overextend yourself just to keep others happy, they notice. And eventually, they follow that lead. But when you treat yourself with dignity, when you prioritize your health, your goals, and your values, people respond differently. They step up. They respect your time. They listen more carefully, not because you forced them to, but because your energy shifted. Having boundaries doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being clear. It means choosing what aligns with your life and gracefully letting go of what doesn't. It means showing love and kindness without losing yourself in the process. That balance between compassion and self-respect is what makes you quietly powerful. It tells the world, I care, but I won't abandon myself to prove it. Self-respect also reflects in your decisions. You stop chasing temporary validation. You stop proving your worth through people pleasing. Instead, you choose what nourishes your soul. You protect your time, your energy, your focus, and you don't explain that choice, you live it. The people who are meant for you will understand, and those who don't were never really for you in the first place. Being silently attractive means having an inner strength that doesn't need to be loud. It's the calm in your no, the peace in your silence, and the quiet clarity in your decisions. When you live with self-respect and healthy boundaries, you send out a message without speaking a word. I know who I am, and I honor that. That message doesn't need to be explained, it is felt. And that feeling is unforgettable. Authenticity is one of the most powerful and silently attractive qualities a person can possess. In a world where so many people wear masks, pretend to be something they're not, or change themselves to fit in, being unapologetically yourself stands out. There is something magnetic about a person who is comfortable in their own skin, who doesn't need to impress, perform, or conform. They just are, and that effortless honesty draws people in without trying. When you're authentic, you radiate a quiet confidence that doesn't come from ego. It comes from self-acceptance. You're not trying to be liked by everyone, and that's exactly what makes you likable. You don't filter your personality to fit every room you walk into. Instead, you bring the same realness wherever you go. People feel that, they trust it, and they are naturally attracted to it because it's so rare. Authenticity doesn't mean being loud about who you are. It means being aligned with yourself, your values, your beliefs, your voice. It's shown in the small choices you make every day, how you speak, what you tolerate, the things you stand for. It's about consistency between your words and your actions, your inside and your outside. When people sense that you are real, that you're not putting on a show, they feel safe around you. They let their guard down. They start to show up more authentically too, and that's the power of being authentic. It creates a ripple effect. When you show up as your true self, you give others permission to do the same. You become a mirror for honesty, vulnerability, and courage. You attract genuine connections, not superficial ones. People are drawn to you not because you said the right things, but because you were the right thing, real. Being authentic also means being okay with not always being understood. You stop explaining yourself to people who aren't ready to understand you. You stop bending to please others or hiding parts of yourself to gain approval. You realize that the right people will see you, appreciate you, and connect with you exactly as you are. And you're okay with losing people who don't. That kind of inner peace is incredibly attractive. True authenticity is quiet. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't shout for validation. It exists in your presence, your energy, your truth. And when someone encounters that kind of presence, they remember it. They feel it not just in what you say, but in how you carry yourself. Authentic people are like a breath of fresh air in a world full of imitation. So if you want to be silently attractive, stop trying to be what you think others want. Start being more of who you really are. The more you accept yourself, the more attractive you become, not because you're trying, but because you're finally allowing your true light to shine without filters. That light, quiet as it may be, is what draws people in and makes you unforgettable. In the end, being silently attractive isn't about trying to be noticed, it's about becoming someone worth noticing without effort. It's not the loudest in the room who leaves the deepest impression, but the one who carries quiet confidence, listens with intention, moves with grace, respects themselves with firm boundaries, and lives with unapologetic authenticity. These habits don't just change how others see you, they transform how you see yourself. You begin to attract the right people, opportunities, and energy not because you chased them, but because you became someone who naturally draws them in. Silent attraction is the power of presence, not performance. And when you embody that truth, you no longer need to convince anyone of your worth, they'll feel it the moment you walk in.